up and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Rome Bone. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 155 in the motherfucking hot. What's good? Thank you again for tuning in, whether you're on YouTube or your favorite podcasting app. And I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Safe. Thank you again for tuning in. Much love. And what's really good out there? What is really good? Hope everybody's staying safe out there. All that good shit. And yeah, beautiful fucking day in the neighborhood today, man. It's nice out there. Very nice outside, right, Butters? Butters right here to my side, not on the couch. She appreciates all the love from last week's episode. That was super dope. Shout out to Butters. And yeah, we got some shit to talk about this week. New music news, all that good shit. All that good stuff. And let's get a couple shout outs real quick. Shout out to Scott M for sending in a donation this week. He says, you continue to up your game, fam. Great job. Scott, much love. Thank you for your continued support of Beneath the Dirt and the podcast and everything that we do over here. Much love. Super appreciated. And another shout out to Nerd Wicked. And they say, honk for Butters. Honk for Butters. Butters. I kind of think she's not. Nah, I want to say she's deaf, but she's just a female. She don't want to hear my bullshit. So, yeah. Shout out to Butters. Chilling right here by my feet. And yeah, you know, she my co-host. Even though you can't see her, she my co-host. And let's stop fucking wasting fucking any time. Let's get into some new music and news. Run the Jewels came out this week with Run the Jewels 4 Deluxe. And it's basically just Run the Jewels 4 with a couple remixes and the instrumentals for the entire album. So yeah, I wouldn't expect to see this on hard copy because they've already done the vinyl instrumentals. Although I do like the cover for this. Kind of wish they saved that cover for maybe 5, like that color scheme, if you will, for 5. I don't know. But the cover looks dope. This is Run the Jewels 4, the deluxe, and one of the remixes that you get is Ooh La La with Lil Wayne is on here. So I had to peep this out. Lil Wayne, Greg Nice, and DJ Premier. And Ooh La La was like one of my favorite tracks off Run the Jewels 4. So I had to peep the remix with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's verse is just okay to me. Not one of the best Lil Wayne verses. You know, I fucks with Lil Wayne. I know not everybody, especially underground music related, that fucks with Lil Wayne like that, but I do. I love Lil Wayne. Carter Series is the shit. But, you know, it's not a terrible verse from Lil Wayne, but not the greatest in my personal opinion. Cover art is dope for the single, though. You know, you get that E.T. shit right there. You know, Lil Wayne, he's an alien, all that good shit. But Run the Jewels 4, the deluxe is out on all DSPs now. Like I said, basically the original album with, you know, the instrumentals now and a couple remixes. And I was thinking about it when I was prepping the show. Is Run the Jewels considered underground at this point anymore? Like, they are kind of like strange in the sense that, you know, it borderlines mainstream, you know? I don't know. But I fucks with Run the Jewels, so I'm going to talk about him on the fucking show, whether you consider him mainstream or not. But, you know, I was thinking that. Are they underground? Like, when Run the Jewels 1 came out, that shit was underground as fuck. But I'd say probably halfway through the Run the Jewels 2 run, going into 3, and then when 3 came out, it was like, you started hearing their shit on ESPN all the time, fucking commercials all over the place. So yeah. But anyway, I love Run the Jewels. A tad bit overrated, but I still love them. And go get that Run the Jewels 4 Deluxe out now. Another single we got out this week was Bati Batt with Better Off Dead. Bati Batt, I don't know if we've talked about her on the podcast before. She did release an EP maybe earlier this year, late last year. But she's with Low Key, so she's got this crazy ass metal sound. I wasn't really feeling the crazy metal shit she was doing. Just, I don't know, just wasn't really feeling that. But I did check out this single just to see what was up with her new single. She said she was going with a different sound, and she went with a completely different sound. This is some singing shit from Bati Batt, and I fucks with this. This shit sounded dope. I like it. You know, if you listen to Low Key, you kind of know. Actually, you might not know because you probably have not heard the single, but this single and kind of what Bati Batt was doing before doesn't really stray too far from what Low Key was doing. It's, it's in that realm sound wise. This single, singing shit, I dig it. I like this sound. I'd like to see more of this shit from Bati Batt going forward. Just like I had said previously to Eyes of Parasuva that Low Key released. I was like, I want more singing from Low Key. And then he ended up giving us a whole fucking album. So whether she gives us a whole project of singing shit or mixes it up with the screaming metal shit, I'm all for it. But I definitely dig this new style that she's playing with. It's super dope. I recommend checking it out, especially if you're a Low Key fan. Super dope. And it's up on all DSPs now. So go peep that shit. And yeah, new Bati Batt is pretty fire. I dig it. And then my favorite release that dropped this past week, Animal. We talked about it last week, preparing for this week, and he dropped it, I believe, on Wednesday, Thursday? I don't know. But he dropped the album One. Animal, also known as Crossworm. And this is, if you're familiar with Crossworm, this is just a completely different style than what Crossworm is. This is, I want to say new wave. He's calling it dark wave. When I called it dark wave on Instagram, he said he wouldn't even know if he considers it dark wave. I don't even think he knows what to consider it. But when you listen to this shit, you get new wave vibes, just darker. He covers, the fuck is it? Come Undone and Rock On. I can't remember the names of the groups that do those songs. I'm not just familiar with new wave music. If those songs are even new wave, I don't know. I recognize the songs, but I'm just not sure. So we got some covers on here, and this shit is super dope, man. Crossworm has always just played with different styles. Dude's got tons of different fucking aliases, but the new one is Animal, and I've been wanting him to do a lot more singing shit since he started dabbling with the singing stuff, and he did more, the most singing he ever did was on his last album, Eat the Week, as Crossworm, fire album. I don't know if that or Parasite Avenue was my favorite, but love that album. He was incorporating more singing. I was hoping we'd get a lot more singing. I think this dude's dope at the singing shit, and he gave it to us with this new project. It's up on all DSPs now. Animal is AN1ML. The shit is super dope. He produces the whole shit. This dude is super talented. Let's give some flowers to Crossworm real quick, because I've been listening to Crossworm at least 15 years. I don't know when Phoenix dropped or when Dan the Saltine dropped Dirty Doubles, because that was the first time I heard Crossworm. But it's been a minute, and this dude produces his own shit, engineers his own music, uh, masters it. He does all the artwork for it. This dude is super talented all around. He's an artist. I used to have one of his paintings in the background of the show. I think in the early stages of the show, I had his painting, but I got up on the wall over here one of his paintings. I actually have all of them because he did prints, and I bought all of them, but I got my favorite one in the frame right there. This dude, super talented, man. Produces his own shit. He calls his style dirtcore just because it's just dirty, grimy shit. You don't hear anybody else doing this type of shit. And I always said the style production that he does would fit a singer so good. So good. And, he gave it to us with this project. He's even had other projects, Sun, Sky, and Surface. It was him and Luke D, I believe it was. And Luke D was doing all the vocals. Crossworm was doing all the beats on there. If this is confusing, I'm sorry. But I highly, highly recommend, if there's anything you check out, new music that dropped this past week that we talk about on this week's show, it's this new Animal project. Now, if you don't like the new wave shit, I don't know. You might not like it, but I love this shit. This album is fucking fire. My favorite tracks on here. My favorite song, just stand out, is In Time. I love that song. Just super dope. A lot of quotables on there. And he does a really good job with Come Undone. Fever in the Night is fire. Just every song is fucking dope. But those songs right there, standouts, even though one of them was a cover. He covered it really well. Highly recommend you check this shit out. AN1ML. You can cop it on the Bandcamp. He's got a Bandcamp page. Or you could just go stream it on Apple Music, Spotify, all that shit. But, oh man, I've been bumping. I probably played this 20 times since it dropped. No fucking lie. Like, it just plays. Hey, run that shit back again 3-4 more times. Super dope. And shout out to Crossworm. Crossworm, animal, crossworm, whatever. Super dope. And I've been fucking with him for a long time. Mad underrated. Peep the shit. If you don't like it, peep his crossworm shit. And if you don't like it, so fucking be it. But I'll do everything I can to, if I can put one person onto this dude's music, I've done my job. Just because I fuck with this dude so much. And yeah, peep the new Animal album. It's called One. 9 tracks, 25 minutes. It's a short listen. It's an EP, essentially. But I fucks with it. My favorite release this week. Easily my favorite release. Been super dope. But yeah. Peep out those new tracks. New Run the Jewels, Bati Batt, Animal. And, if you do check any shit out, if you do listen to anything I recommend or talk about on the show, let me know. Hit me up on my social medias. Comment if you're watching on YouTube what you checked out based on the recommendations. Or if you're already a fan of the shit, let me know. A lot of people already do. But let's get those interactions up. It'd be super dope. And yeah, let me know what the fuck you been bumping since New Music Friday dropped. Since the New Music Friday drops went down. And yeah. And I was going to start the show out with this because I usually do, when somebody passes away, but I kind of wanted to spend more time on it. And I didn't want to fucking jump right out the gate with some sad shit. But it is the cover art for this week's episode. And I got the news that Menacide had passed away after I recorded last week's episode. I believe news broke last Sunday. Had I, if I still recorded my podcast on Sundays, I would have covered it last week, but we're doing Saturdays now. But the news did break. Menacide did pass away. Um, it's fucking sad, man. I'm a fan of Menacide. Now, haven't been talking about him on the show because he hasn't released music in a couple years. I believe we did cover his Reign Supreme albums when they dropped. I believe I had just started my podcast when he was releasing those albums, right around that time. And Menacide's another dude from the Wicked Underground scene that I've been listening to for a good 15 years. This dude is one of the first artists I found on the horrorcore forums, horrorcore.com forums back in the day. And this dude was the shit. This dude was like, I wouldn't really even consider this dude horrorcore, but he was part of the scene. He was part of the Wicked Underground. And this dude could rap his ass off. Great songwriter. Dude was super dope. I've gone back this past week just bumping his discography just because I haven't listened to it in a while. And, you know, usually when somebody passes, you go back, bump the shit, relive it, and yeah, this dude tried, really tried to help the Wicked Underground scene by putting people on. You go back to the Heavy Hitters album, the Underground Hustlin' series. That album got packaged with the Underground Hustlin'. Him and mcnastee hosted it. They were really trying to put on up and coming dudes. And even later on in his career, when he dropped the Reign Supreme albums, he was really trying to, those albums were super feature heavy, whereas his earlier work wasn't. And Menacide was affiliated with Mission Infect, Seven Seal, again, Riders Records, Third Shift Entertainment. He had his own label, 13% Records with mcnastee. Affiliated with Intrins Inc. This dude, he was all over the place, man. And, just fucking sad news to report. But, Menacide was that dude. If you've never heard Menacide's music or even heard of him, everything he's released, pretty much, minus a couple mixtapes, but his main albums are all up on Apple Music, Spotify, all that. I highly recommend you go bump that shit. Now, the go-to album for me from Menacide would be drugsz, the drugsz LP. That was my first album I heard from him. I believe he had just released that album when I first got into him, and I highly recommend that shit. I consider that shit a classic in the whole, Wicked Underground scene. Just so many bangers on there. Love that album from Menacide. Also, Street Symphony is a real close second for me. But I mean, everything this dude did was just top notch, top quality, from the engineering, mixing and mastering, which I believe he did all that shit himself, to the packaging of CDs and all that shit. Like, his shit sounded crisp and clean. Great songwriter, like I said. And just, he has a bunch of music up on Apple Music. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the drugsz LP. He's got Magic Deuce on here. The Heavy Hitters, mcnastee, Dan the Saltine. Shot One's on here. Q Strange, like, just super dope album. As is pretty much everything else he released. And yeah, super unfortunate, that he fucking passed like that. It's always, I want to say it's unexpected, but it's always unexpected when somebody dies. For the most part, I heard he was battling some health issues, and it ultimately took him. But Menacide was that dude, was that fucking dude. And yeah, rest in peace to Menacide. There is also a GoFundMe for him for, his final expenses, funeral expenses. And I just wanted to get that out there as well. There is a GoFundMe. I'll have a link in the YouTube description. I'll also There is also a link up on beneathdirt.com. If you go to beneathdirt.com, it brings you to my link tree. And at the very top, there's the Menacide GoFundMe. They're raising money. They're about halfway to their goal of raising the money for the funeral costs for Menacide. And yeah, if you can donate, if you are planning on donating to the show this week, instead of that, donate to the Menacide GoFundMe. And if you do donate to the Beneath the Dirt podcast this week, I will take that money and donate it to the Menacide GoFundMe to help his family out with his funeral expenses. So, yeah, any donations that come in, I will donate it, just so you're aware. Or if you just want to go ahead and go to the GoFundMe yourself, you could do that as well. You're not obligated to do it. I'm just putting it out there that his family's trying to raise money, and rest in peace to Menacide and all the fucking dope ass music that he gave us, all his solo shit, the Heavy Hitters album, Separated at Birth album. I almost forgot about this one, but I was actually bumping it today. The Michigan Militia album with Saint Sinner. That shit, it didn't come out for like 10 years, something like that. Like, if you follow the Wicked Underground scene at all, that album was supposed to have dropped in like 08, 09, something like that, maybe 2010. And it just came out a few years back. And that was such a dope album. And I'm glad it finally got, it had gotten released. Michigan Militia, that's also up on Apple Music, Spotify, all that shit. But yeah, rest in peace to Menacide, man. Go brush up on his music if if you're not familiar. And if you are, then you already know he was fucking dope. Dude fucking could rap and put out quality, real high quality music, without a doubt. So, rest in peace to Menacide. And, it's a shame to report on the shit and to give his flowers after he passed. But we're still giving him his flowers, giving him his shine, and, still get that music out there and heard. So, yeah. Rest in peace to Menacide, man. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, man. Really is. Right, Butters? Right? Yeah. She said right. So. Fuck. Let's keep it going with some more news. I thought this was interesting. King ISO posted up a picture of him and Ritz up on his Facebook. I didn't grab a screenshot of what he said, but he's basically bigging up and shouting out Ritz up on Facebook, and kind of hinted at sounds like they're at least in talks of doing a project together. They're on tour right now. They're on the Tech Nine tour. What is it? Jerry Robinson, King ISO, Joey Cool, Ritz, and Tech Nine. They're all out on the road right now. And, a lot of shit gets talked about on the road. And it sounds like they're talking about doing a project together. I would welcome this project any fucking day of the week. I fucks with Ritz. If you haven't bumped Ritz's new album, SOS, I've been bumping that. Pretty much Ritz and Animal all week. I've been bumping. That shit is dope. Short listen, but sweet as hell. Super dope. Go bump that shit. And I fucks with King ISO, man. World War Me was fire. Super dope. So yeah, I would definitely anticipate an album from these two if it actually happens. I say shit gets talked about on the road. You know, people get together, link up, they're vibing, having a good time. You know, they'll tease that an album is coming and never come. You know, and it'll never come out. Who remembers when Brother Lynch was on Strange Music and Prozac was still putting out music, and the Donner Party? They were talking about the Donner Party releasing an album together, Prozac and Brother Lynch. Like, I remember wanting that shit so bad when they was talking about it on their social medias and whatnot, but it never happened. The album never happened. So, you know, shit like this gets talked about, teased. I'd say more often than not doesn't happen, but this album right here, I would really like a Ritz and King ISO project to happen. I think that shit would be fire. Super dope. So yeah, I thought that was a little interesting tidbit that I saw up on Facebook. And speaking of King ISO, he got a new single coming. He just said coming soon, but going off Strange Music's track record as of late, if they promote a single, it's coming that following Friday. So maybe this Friday, we're getting a new King ISO single called Made Me Crazy featuring Tech Nine and Snake Lucci. We gearing up for the new King ISO solo record. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Hopefully we get it in the next couple of months before the year's out. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to new ISO, man. Super dope. Arguably the best artist on Strange Music right now. You know, Tech Nine will be dropping his Asinine album in just a couple of weeks. On the 8th, I believe, of October. So yeah, that'll be dropping soon. And, you know, King ISO got the single possibly dropping this Friday. I guess we'll just fucking have to wait and see. Not really sure. But, you know, Strange Music, regardless of what you fucking think, fucking stays busy, man. They stay busy, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, keep that shit when it drops, because I know I'll be peeping the shit. Because I fucks with ISO. Another thing that I found up on, I forget how I came across this. Actually, I know how I came across this. I came across this on Bull Moose because I was actually looking for Twiztid's what is it? The rose petal vinyl that they just released to, it's an indie store exclusive. So I was looking for it on Bull Moose, typed in Twiztid, and like the third thing that popped up was some songs of Samhain 2, the haunted record player, up for pre-order on Bull Moose. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And then I go fucking hop on Amazon real quick, type in Twiztid. It's one of the first things that pops up with this image right here. So this looks like it'll be the cover art for Songs of Samhain 2, the haunted record player, but it is up on Amazon as well, and possibly other local record stores if you want to check your local record store's website. But pre-orders are available for Twiztid Songs of Samhain 2, Volume 2, whatever, the haunted record player. And yeah, I would imagine the pre-order for this will be coming to the M&E store pretty soon. It says it's going to be dropping, I believe, October 28th or 29th. I'd have to double check. I don't have it in front of me right now. But yeah, the pre-order is up and it's like $12, $13, some shit like that. But I thought that was interesting. It's very rare that you find a pre-order for an album or a project that, you know, before it hits like the label's official web store or anything like that. Yeah, October 29th is the release date. $13.97 on Bull Moose. And I believe it's like $12.99 up on Amazon. I'll go take a look as well real quick. But I wasn't the biggest fan of the first songs of Samhain that they dropped last year. Felt like that one kind of missed with me personally, but I know a lot of people dug it. And yeah, $12.59 up on Amazon, and you get that Amazon shipping, so you know you'll have it by the release date. I just thought this was interesting. You know, it looks like this is the official cover art. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if this is in fact the cover art for the album. And I'm just going to assume this is going to be another, they're going to call it a Twiztid project, but it's going to have the whole label on it. Everybody was on that one, Songs of Samhain last year. So I'm just going to assume that the entire M&E label will be up on this one as well. So yeah, go cop that fucking pre-order of Songs of Samhain 2, unless you want to wait. I see people saying that they're just going to wait for M&E to put up the order because they'd rather directly support the artist. I'm not mad at it. And as far as I'm concerned, M&E is on point with their web store. I've never had an issue with M&E's web store. So yeah, if you just want to wait for M&E, or if you're just impatient and want to secure your copy now, you could do that shit online. So yeah, cop that shit. And let's get into some Long Live Evil a la Zully Lou news. We got what appears to be the cover art for the next super famous Fun Time Guys single. This one will be featuring Lee Carver. It's called Lord of the Flies. I don't believe there's a release date for it yet. I could check up on my Instagrams now to see if there is, but I don't believe so. I believe they just said coming soon. So I'm going to go peep the super famous Fun Time Guys IG. Okay, October 1st, I capped. That was a fucking lie. So this Friday, the new single from super famous Fun Time Guys, Lee Carver, Lord of the Flies, is dropping. So yeah, I fucks with Lee Carver heavy. I'll peep it when it drops, see what it sounds like. But keeping it with a la Zully Lou news, we got artists being revealed fucking crazy this past week for Camp Zool. I meant to talk about it last week and just fucking didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but it's going to be a segment this week. So we got a few artists right here that'll be playing at Camp Zool. We got Dean, we got the Hooligans, Cody Manson, and Mighty Misfits will be at Camp Zool this year. And then we got a whole fucking slew of other people slated to be at Camp Zool this year. And yeah, this fucking, they're going all out with Camp Zool, and it's dope to see. A lot of these people being named is just like random, all over the place. Some of it's on Instagram. I found some on Twitter. Shout out to Legends Will Never Die. He pointed a couple out to me from Facebook. But yeah, we got super famous Fun Time Guys will be at Camp Zool. I think that's to be expected, They're Long Live Evil. We got Donnie Menace will be at Camp Zool. Buckshot will be at fucking Camp Zool. Buckshot just playing all the festivals lately. Same with Donnie Menace. Mad Max will be at Camp Zool. Diabolic the Monster. He was actually in a la Zully Lou at one point, if you remember correctly. He's featured on the song In the Trunk, which is one of my favorite tracks from them. Super dope. And then we got Straight Jacket will be at Camp Zool. So Straight Jacket, it seems like Straight Jacket is legit the only dude that can play both sides of the fence with Psychopathic and M&E and, M&E related shit. But he will be at Camp Zool. Light will be at Camp Zool. When's the last time we heard anything from Light? It's been a minute. Where the fuck has Light been? Where is Broke but Still Shining? The pre-orders were supposed to drop like 2 years ago for that shit. I don't know where the fuck Light has been, but he's gonna be at Camp Zool. Blaze Your Dad Homie's gonna be at Camp Zool. Boondocks is gonna be at Camp Zool. And I gotta assume Zool will be at Camp Zool, right? Or maybe they won't be. But I'm gonna assume they will be. But goddamn, we got a pretty fucking dope lineup for Camp Zool. I don't know if they're done announcing artists. For all I fucking know, they announced 17 more since I've been recording this show or even just talking about it right here, right now. But we got a whole bunch of motherfuckers going up to Camp Zool. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I was really expecting some like festival type shit. I legit thought this was just gonna be like, hey, we're gonna go camp in the woods for a weekend and hang the fuck out. But it looks like we're gonna be getting some performances, and that's dope. You're gonna be getting some dope ass performances too. Yeah, man, lineup's looking fucking solid for Camp Zool. And if you find some shit of people performing at Camp Zool and you haven't seen me post about it or talk about it, let me the fuck know because it's hard to keep up. Shout out to Legends Will Never Die again. He pointed out Straight Jacket and Light for me. Straight Jacket posted it on his personal page, and I can't figure out a way to follow people's personal pages unless they just, don't allow that to happen. You can, in the settings, set it to however the fuck you want, who can add you, who can follow you, whatever. But yeah, I had no idea that Straight Jacket and Light are fucking performing until Legends pointed it out to me. That's fucking dope. And, Blaze, Boondocks, Buckshot, all these dudes. Sounds like Camp Zool is going to be fire. They were talking about it on their Tuesday night terror stream. And they found Joe Black. Joe Black was with them on their Tuesday night stream. I don't know what happened to him, but we talked about he was missing last week. They did find him. He must have just fucking wandered off or something, Must have gave him an edible. He fucking wandered off into the woods real quick, but they did find him. He is safe and sound, and that warms my cold little heart. But yeah. Shout out to Zool for getting the guests that they have for this show. And, hopefully everything goes smooth. If you're going to Camp Zool, stay safe, all that good shit. It ain't going down for a minute. But, at least another month now. But regardless, if you're going, stay safe. I hope the event is fucking fire. It's looking like it's going to be fire. They got a bunch of other events going down, tattoo contests, some other shit. I believe there's a Super Famous Fun Time Guys seminar and, some more shit. So, yeah, Camp Zool looking like it's going to be fire. We was just talking about Straight Jacket. As I was perusing Straight Jacket's Facebook page, I came across this image of him in his new studio with Light, Shaggy 2 Dope, Keegan the Creep, and Jim Job. And I love the way the fucking studio looks. Purple. Purple is my favorite color. Love that shit. And yeah, you can peep that shit up on his personal Facebook. I don't know. I guess if you're personal friends with Straight Jacket on Facebook, I don't know, but it is up there. I thought it was dope to see Shaggy 2 Dope, Straight Jacket, Light all together. Like I said, where the fuck is Light been? Maybe Light's in the studio recording Broke But Still Shining. Straight Jacket's new studio is called Hypnotic Sound Studios. Fuck. I almost died and threw up everywhere. Fuck, that was gross. Not good. Anyway, excuse me for that. But Hypnotic Sound Studios is his new studio with Jim Job. I believe Jim Job either works with Emily or did work with Emily at one point. So, like I said, Straight Jacket seems like the only dude who can or is willing to play both sides of the fucking fence. You know? And maybe he's just able to do that. So, I don't know. But I thought that picture was dope. Bring that shit up real quick. And speaking of Shaggy 2 Dope, Shaggy 2 Dope is getting in the NFT game. The non-fungible tangent. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck NFT non-fungible fucking titties. I don't I don't know what the fuck NFT stands for. So what I'm going to do is Google it on my handy dandy notebook over here and see if it can tell me what the fuck it non-fungible token. I couldn't think the word fucking token, but Shaggy 2 Dope, regardless, is getting in the fucking NFT game. And this is the image that you can own as an NFT. I copied and pasted it. Does that mean I own it? What the fuck is an NFT? I've heard it be explained a million times and I still don't understand. You own. The best way I can explain it, or the best way I understand it, is it's like cryptocurrency. You own some digital code, basically. Like, you own this image, and if you sell it, it gets transferred to the next person. Like, if you were actually selling a physical product, like there's a chain of where these NFTs go. I don't know. I don't understand NFTs. I think they're overhyped, but people seem to be buying into it. It makes no fucking sense to me. I do dig the artwork that Shaggy 2 Dope drew up for this NFT. I fucks with Shaggy 2 Dope's artwork. This shit is dope, man. I wish he would do the Joker's cards, but Tom Wood does them now. But anyway, Shaggy 2 Dope is in the NFT game. And are you going to cop it? It's up for auction right now. I'm not going to tell you the website because I don't fucking know. But if you go to Shaggy 2 Dope's social media pages, you could find out. I'm curious to see how much these shits are going to fucking sell for. And apparently, these are the first of many NFTs from Shaggy 2 Dope. I've seen Ill Bill get into the NFT game. Cottonmouth Kings get into the NFT game. Surprised we haven't seen like Tech 9 get into the NFTs yet. But a whole bunch of people are getting into this NFTs, and it's infiltrating the Juggalo world now with Shaggy 2 Dope and his little. Is it a dog? I mean, it looks like a dog, right? Looks like a painted up dog to me. Or maybe that's just the design of the dog's hair or whatever. Fucking no, man. But, yep. Shaggy 2 Dope in the NFT game. Are you copping? Need it or keep it? Let me fucking know on my socials or comment on the YouTube video. And keeping it psychopathic related, we got Ouija Mac going out on the Say It to My Face tour with Gizmo and I don't is that supposed to be Nadas? I hope not. It's NVTVS. That's how we'll pronounce it. Ouija Mac, Gizmo, and what the fuck is wrong with me, man? What is wrong with me? But he is going out on tour, and it looks like it's damn near nationwide. Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, Ohio, New York, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Kentucky, Texas, New Mexico, back to Colorado, Utah, all that shit. So Ouija Mac is heading out on tour October 13th through November 14th. So it's a month-long tour. If you look on the tour flyer, which we got the artwork up for right now, if you're watching on YouTube, October 31st is all question marks. We are still waiting for Hallowicked news to drop. Will Hallowicked go down this year? I'll say yes. It just seems like concerts are a thing right now. I'm actually going to my first one in a year and a half tonight. But October 31st, will it be Hallowicked? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm going to speculate that that October 31st date, that is all question marks, will be Hallowicked. So that'll be fire. Curious to see what the clowns pull off for Hallowicked this year. Last year they had it at Violent J's house with the acoustic show, which was fucking dope, which was fire. Well, I'm looking forward to that news. And Ouija Max on the road, man. I probably won't be able to hit any of the dates. I looked to the ones closest to me, and it's during the week, and it's just, I'm gonna try. I'll do my best because Ouija Mac kills it live. I'd love to see him live again, but it's hard to make it to shows during the week just because I'm old and, waking up super early during the week after a fucking concert night sucks. Be falling asleep on the road for work and shit, just not a good look for me personally. But yeah, Ouija Mac is hitting the fucking road. That is super dope. And let's get into a couple more new music releases that dropped this week. And all the new music releases that we talk about on the podcast every week is featured up on the Beneath the Dirt Weekly Bumps playlist. That was not the correct image for it. But it is featured up on the Weekly Bumps playlist, which I update every Friday with new and classic music. So if you don't know, now you fucking know. And yeah, the Weekly Bumps playlist is up on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all that shit. So go follow it. And another release that we had was Salty Brasi. This is the newest artist on Strange Music. And he dropped his newest single, Sweet Tooth. We talked about him a couple weeks, kind of talked about him. I just said they signed a new artist, couldn't remember his name. But his name is Salty Brasi. He dropped a new single called Sweet Tooth. I did not get a chance to listen to it, even though it is up on the playlist. I haven't got a chance to run through the playlist yet this week. But the single from Sub Noises, newest artist, Salty Brasi, is up now. I did see that King Click had a live stream this past Friday night, I believe. And I got about halfway through it, watching the replay of it. And halfway through it, they didn't break any kind of crazy news, just a couple road stories. It's fun listening to them talk, but no big news halfway through that stream. If there is big news from it, my bad. We'll talk about it next week, but yeah, they did do a live stream. The King Click album is dropping this Friday, or EP rather. The EP is dropping this Friday. I'm hyped for it. Can't wait to be bumping that shit. And yeah. Yup. And before we bounce the fuck up out of here, Westside Gunn, Griselda, the Fly God himself, dropped Side B to Hitler Wears Hermes 8. That is up on all DSPs right now. 20 tracks. Hell on Earth Part 2 is up on the Weekly Bumps playlist. So peep that shit if you're a fan of Westside. I'm sure you're already bumping it now. But he did drop Side B tonight. I'm recording this Saturday the 25th. I'm going to see Conway the Machine live in Boston. This is my first concert since, I want to say, February. It was either late January, early February 2020. And the last show that I saw was Griselda on the What Would Sheen Gun Do tour. And I'm hyped, man. That was my last show that I saw last year. And I'm just, yeah. What would Machine Gun 2 tour was the last show I saw. And tonight I'm going to see Conway. I'll probably break it down, or at least, talk about it a little bit on next week's episode. But I fucking love Griselda, man. And I'm hyped for the show tonight. Westside Gunn dropped Hitler Wears Hermes 8. You can go peep that shit everywhere. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me this week. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in right now. Before we bounce up out of here, I want to say again, rest in peace to Menacide, man. Just sad as hell. It always is when somebody dies, but it's just sad. And go peep his music. I did put a bunch of it up on the Weekly Bumps playlist. Got 2 solo Menacide tracks on there. A Heavy Hitters song on there. And yeah, go follow that playlist if you're not already. And thank you again for fucking tuning in this week. Thank you to Nerd Wicked and Scott M for the donations again this week. Much love. Super appreciated. And I'm Rolling Bone of the Beneath the Dirt podcast. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.